I can't tell you what an honor it is to serve with somebody that I respect, that has integrity, and that is my friend. Larry and I served in the legislature, and we were friends long before we ever decided to run to be your governor and lieutenant governor, but him and his family are incredible. They're rock solid, and I'm just so grateful for them. So if you'd give him another round of applause, that'd mean the world to me. So listen, we've got some special guests tonight. Is it okay if I introduce them for you? We have the very first gentleman of the great state of South Dakota with us this evening. Over here, my husband, Kristi Noem, if you would welcome him. When I got here, they said, when I came in the back door, they said, your husband is already here and he's down there socializing. And I go, shocker. If you know Brian, he's wonderful and everybody loves him. I also have Kennedy and her brand new husband, Tanner Frick, that are here, if they would stand. I don't know how long Tanner gets to be brand new. He is, what has it been, 3 weeks? 4 weeks. They're still in newlywed bliss, and I hope they stay that way for the next 50, 60 years. They are wonderful. We love Tanner, and you know, their last name now is Frick. So I say all the time, it is so frickin' awesome to have you here. When he asked her to marry him, I was like, it's about frickin' time. You know, so it's like the perfect last name ever. So, and then of course, we have someone very, very famous here tonight. Who is my mother, Corinne Arnold. Maybe you've seen her in a TV commercial lately. She's a bit of a rock star. Stand up, Mom. Maybe you saw her on TV recently doing a TikTok dance, virtual reality. Yeah, she said she went to the grocery store the other day. 2 people asked for her autograph. And she said, Kristi, I might have to start wearing sunglasses now. I don't know if I can get my grocery store shopping done. But she brought her dear, dear friends, Brenda and Carol, with her tonight. So thank you for coming. We're so glad that you're all here. You know, listen, we have someone that you're going to love hearing from. She's been a dear friend of mine forever. And she came here to really make sure that we're all aware of how blessed South Dakota is. Listen, South Dakota right now is leading the country. We have the strongest economy in the nation. Our incomes here are going up faster than anywhere else, and our kids are outperforming students from every other state in educational outcomes. They're doing better because what did we do here in South Dakota? We let our kids be in school. We let them be in their classrooms. We let their teachers invest in them, and we let their parents have decisions over their education and what was going to be taught to our children, and that they would get a true and honest history. Listen, we made decisions here that no other state did. We kept businesses open. We never once mandated anything. I told all of you I was going to trust you and that we would get through our challenges together. And listen, since I've been governor, we've gotten through some challenges. 2019, we faced historic flooding. If you remember, the bomb cyclone hit our state. 63 of our 66 counties were declared federal disaster areas. We were for sure certain that 2020 was going to be better. And then look what happened. We got a pandemic. Who knew? But we got through that together, and listen, in our state, all we did is we respected people. And we made sure that our state's rights and our people's rights were respected, and that we always remembered our state motto, under God, the people rule. And listen, all we did is what Americans have always said they believed. Here in South Dakota, we just did it, and it worked. And it worked. So we need to remind people of that. We've had our challenges, but frankly, we've got a lot of people attacking us right now. We've got a lot of people that are coming after this state that have forgotten how blessed we are. Listen, I haven't met anybody that hasn't moved to South Dakota in the last 3 years that isn't all in voting for me and Larry. They are. They lived somewhere else where they weren't free. They didn't come here for our beaches, did they? They didn't move here just to be here right in time for January weather, right? They came here because they wanted to be free. It's the people that have always lived here that I need your help with. Because it seems to me when we're crossing the state that people are taking it for granted. They just assume that it will always be like that. They've forgotten that a governor makes decisions every single day that impact and change your life. Leadership has consequences, and we make decisions in agencies, departments, appointing boards, judges, who we put in other positions to enact policies. We saw governors across this country in the last several years do executive orders that shut down their schools, took away people's rights because government and governors told people that they couldn't gather together like we're doing tonight. People gave up their freedom of assembly. Because the government and governors told people they couldn't go to church, people lost their freedom of religion. We've got to have someone defending South Dakota, and I've been so honored and blessed that you've trusted me to be that person, but we are under attack from Joe Biden and from liberal extremists like Jamie Smith that support every one of his policies. But Jamie has voted to support him. He's brought legislation. During the pandemic, he was the one attacking me for not shutting down businesses, bringing bills and legislation to mandate vaccines in order for people to keep their jobs, saying that our kids needed to have masks on in their school classrooms, even up to a year and a half after the virus ever first came to South Dakota. He has tried to block me from banning critical race theory from our classrooms, and don't worry, you won. We got it blocked out of our classrooms. Our kids are not going to be taught racism and division. That doesn't happen here. Here we recognize the value of every single person, and they're going to get a true and honest history so they appreciate the blessings of the United States of America. Listen, we've protected the fairness of girls' sports to make sure our girls have an opportunity to succeed and to be successful. And Jamie has spoken out and voted against that bill. Listen, all I'm talking about in this race is facts. When I ran to be your governor, I told you what I would do. I told you I wanted to build stronger families, and that I wanted South Dakota to be a place that was growing, that our economy would be turned around, that we would bring in more people, revenue, that our kids could get careers and jobs here so that they could stay here and not have to move all the way across the country and be away from grandparents in order to pursue their dreams and eventually come home when they could afford it. We've done exactly that. We are growing at 10 times the national average right now. And we're growing with people who came here because they want what South Dakota has to offer. Everything I told you 4 years ago when I campaigned to be your governor, I did. We followed through. I kept my promises to you, and I'm asking for an opportunity to continue to have your support and your vote to serve you for another 4 years. This is my home. I'm a wife and a mom and a grandma. Little Miss Addie is 1.5 years. Did you guys know we're having another one that's coming in January, a little boy? I've been an employee and I've been an employer. I know the challenges that we face, and I'll continue to listen to you and work for you every day. And I'd be so appreciative if we could work together to continue to make South Dakota that hope that Larry was talking about. This country is desperate for some optimism. It's desperate for somewhere where people wake up with joy in their hearts. I'm going to ask you the rest of this campaign, we've got 6 days left, to be happy. All right, people will be attracted to us by our optimism, the fact that what we believe we know works and creates opportunities for people, and the fact that what we have truly here needs to be protected and defended every single day. So if you would do that, I would appreciate it. Tonight, we have a special opportunity to hear a story of someone who's left the Democrat Party because of how extreme it's gotten, because of what they've wrapped their arms around with different agendas that try to undermine people. I know her in a different way than you. I met her years and years ago when I got to Congress and was first elected by you to go to Washington, D.C., and I got there and I didn't know anybody. And I looked around that place and thought, dear Jesus, send me 2 or 3 normal people that can be my friends. I need someone here that I can relate to. Somebody told me that if you go to the gym in the morning, which, listen, before I went to Congress, I didn't really go to the gym every day, but they said that's where everybody is. You will meet people there, and when you go from South Dakota, you don't have a delegation. You're the only one from South Dakota, so you got to go meet other people if you're going to have anybody to talk to. And I got down there and I met this woman named Tulsi. And I found out she wasn't like 99% of the other people there. She was there to serve people. She had common sense. She cared about making a difference. She was a problem solver. She was stronger than I was. She could do pull-ups. I couldn't even do one. And she became my dear friend because she wasn't interested in being a showboater and giving big speeches. She was more interested in doing policy, and she loved this country. We passed anti-human trafficking legislation together. We spent time together, and we realized there's much more in this country that unites us as people than what divides us in politics. And that's what's so incredibly special about her. So she has not only served in Congress, she started years and years ago serving in the legislature in Hawaii, and this woman signed up and served in the military, was deployed overseas as a member of the National Guard to protect the freedoms of this country too. She doesn't just talk the talk, she goes and she fights the wars for us too, and she's done that and protected this country for many, many years. She is someone that I respect and I admire, and I'm so grateful for her coming to South Dakota. So if you would help me welcome my dear friend, the Honorable Tulsi Gabbard from the great state of Hawaii.